America declares war on WikiLeaks.
They care nothing about the lives they put at risk or the damage they cause to national security.
Julian Assange fights back from his enclave.
WikiLeaks will continue its publication.
Imagine a world where the very people tasked with protecting us from cyber threats turn against us. What happens when a CIA hacker goes rogue? Tonight, we're diving into the chilling tale of a former government agent who turned against his own country. From hacking classified documents to exposing national secrets, this is a story of betrayal, intrigue, and the terrifying consequences of unchecked power. Get ready to be shocked as we uncover the truth behind when a CIA hacker goes rogue. In 2017, one of the most significant leaks in CIA history hit the headlines. Vault 7. It exposed the agency's most powerful hacking tools to the world, and it wasn't just a breach, it was a betrayal from within. But who was behind it? And what secrets did Vault 7 reveal? What is Vault 7? To understand the full scope of Vault 7, we need to dive into what these cyber weapons were truly capable of. Among the most shocking revelations was the CIA's ability to infiltrate everyday devices. Smartphones, for example, whether they ran on iOS or Android, could be turned into surveillance tools. The agency could listen to phone calls, read messages, and even track the physical location of a user, all without the person knowing. But it didn't stop at phones. One of the most alarming tools was a program called Weeping Angel, designed specifically for Samsung smart TVs. With this tool, the CIA could make a TV appear to be off, but in reality, it was still on, quietly listening to conversations happening in the room. This effectively turned a common household device into a spying machine. Vault 7 also revealed how the CIA was developing tools to hack into cars. While the documents didn't fully explain the purpose, some experts speculated that this technology could be used for remote assassination by controlling a vehicle's functions. These revelations weren't just about the CIA could do. They also shed light on the agency's ability to bypass popular encryption methods. Apps like WhatsApp, Signal, and Telegram, which many people rely on for secure communication, were no longer safe. The CIA's cyber tools could extract data from phones before messages were even encrypted. All of this painted a grim picture. The devices we rely on every day could be turned against us. And worse still, the tools that made this possible were now out in the open, thanks to the Vault 7 leak. Who leaked the files? At the center of the Vault 7 leak is a man named Joshua Schulte, a former CIA software engineer who worked within the agency's hacking division, known as the Engineering Development Group. Schulte had access to some of the most sensitive digital tools ever created by the US government. But by 2016, what began as a promising career had taken a dark turn. According to court documents, Schulte had a troubled relationship with his colleagues and superiors. He clashed with them over work processes, and his frustration with management grew. Some reports suggest that he felt isolated, underappreciated, and angry at how things were being run. His anger boiled over, and it wasn't long before the CIA began suspecting internal sabotage. Schulte, authorities allege, decided to retaliate by copying and smuggling out highly classified data, which included the tools that would become known as Vault 7. But how did he do it? Schulte allegedly used his extensive knowledge of the CIA's digital infrastructure to cover his tracks. He exploited vulnerabilities within the system, erasing logs that could have traced the data breach back to him. Once the files were in his possession, they found their way into the hands of WikiLeaks. On March 7, 2017, the first installment of Vault 7 was published, sending shockwaves through the intelligence community. The CIA scrambled to figure out who had betrayed them from within. For months, the agency investigated potential suspects. Eventually, the trail led them to Schulte. In August 2017, he was arrested, not initially for the leak, but on charges related to possessing illegal images on his computer. As the investigation deepened, the authorities would build a much larger case against him, accusing him of one of the most devastating leaks in CIA history. But even after his arrest, Schulte maintained his innocence, claiming he was being framed by the CIA to cover up their own security failures. The case against him would become one of the most complicated legal battles in the world of national security. The fallout for national security. The leak of Vault 7 didn't just expose secrets. It opened a Pandora's box for the CIA and the broader US intelligence community. The tools that were once their greatest asset had become a global liability. The fallout was immediate and severe, with US officials fearing that these tools could now be weaponized against them. Countries that the CIA had been surveilling were suddenly aware of the methods being used to spy on them. Rival intelligence agencies, from Russia to China, gained invaluable insight into how the US conducted its cyber operations. This meant that any vulnerabilities the CIA had exploited could now be patched, making their tools less effective. But the biggest concern wasn't just that foreign governments would learn how the CIA hacked into systems. It was that cybercriminals could now get their hands on these tools. The leaked files gave hackers a blueprint to develop their own versions of CIA malware, potentially launching a new wave of cyber attacks around the world. In response, the CIA and other US agencies had to act quickly. They launched internal investigations to identify how such a massive breach could happen and scrambled to mitigate the damage. But the reality was stark. The leak couldn't be undone, and the CIA's digital playbook was now in the wild. The public reaction was also intense. Privacy advocates voiced concern that the leak confirmed what many had long suspected, that the CIA had the ability to spy on everyday citizens, far beyond its official mandate of foreign surveillance. The revelation sparked new debates about the balance between national security and individual privacy. WikiLeaks' role in the ethics of leaking. At the heart of Vault 7's release was WikiLeaks, an organization that has made headlines for exposing classified government documents over the years. Led by Julian Assange, WikiLeaks positioned itself as a champion of transparency, arguing that the public had a right to know the extent of the CIA's surveillance capabilities. But while some hailed the release as a victory for freedom of information, others saw it as a reckless act that endangered national security. Assange and WikiLeaks framed the leak as a necessary step to expose the CIA's overreach. They claimed the agency's tools weren't just being used for foreign intelligence, but could also be turned on US citizens, violating privacy rights on a massive scale. The release was intended to spark a global conversation about the unchecked power of intelligence agencies and the need for transparency. But the timing and scope of the leak raised serious ethical questions. Critics argued that by publishing the CIA's entire toolkit, WikiLeaks didn't just hold the government accountable, it gave dangerous tools to malicious actors. Cybercriminals, terrorist organizations, and hostile foreign governments could now reverse engineer these programs and use them for their own purposes. The debate over whether WikiLeaks was a force for good or an enabler of chaos deepened. Some saw Assange as a whistleblower, holding powerful agencies to account, while others labeled him a threat to global security. WikiLeaks' role in this and other leaks challenged the boundaries of journalism, forcing society to reconsider the consequences of absolute transparency. Ultimately, Vault 7 was a turning point for WikiLeaks as well. While they had previously exposed significant government secrets, the scale of this leak and the potential dangers it posed pushed the organization further into controversy. The ethics of whistleblowing and the cost of transparency were now under the global microscope. The trial and verdict. Joshua Schulte, a former CIA employee, was arrested in 2017 for leaking classified information known as Vault 7. He was accused of stealing and leaking the CIA's most sensitive hacking tools. Schulte's defense argued he was scapegoated for the agency's security failures. After a lengthy trial, He was convicted in 2022 and sentenced to prison. The case highlighted the risks of insider threats and the need for stronger security measures within intelligence agencies. Like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of espionage and tech leaks. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks for watching.